veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey, welcome back. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing? A new season. Love and Marriage DC, new season.
Yeah, that's it. Love and Marriage DC, man. And we got some returns with the Silvas and the Tylers. But then we got some new faces at Joy and Clifton, you know. They're back returning from Ready to Love. So that should be interesting. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think Ashley and DJ Quicksilver, they're pushing for that main couple. They're pushing for the king and queens of the show. For
the bishop and first lady, huh?
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, it seems to be the correct path, but we see if they can maintain that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think they can. I think that earlier in the week I was on with another round, our favorite, one of our favorite co-hosts and panelists, Jay, from another round. And like she pointed out, Ashley really has a natural knack for this. It's something about her. She's very charismatic, well-spoken, and so quick-witted. She's got it.
Yeah, quick with it, and also quick with the attitude, So
yeah, she got that sass. She got that, like she's refined and she's elegant, but yeah, she got that little bit of who is it that makes that song like a little bit bougie, a little bit ratchet?
yeah. She's Bugetto or Clatchet.
She's exactly. Hey there. We want to give a shout out real quick. Hey, Pandy, Coach Ma, Be Amazing Sylvia. That's you, Magnetic Repellent. Oh, that's you. Hey, Roro, our members, and special shout out to members Roro for real, and to moderator and member Monique King. Yay!
Yeah, hit the thumbs up coming in.
Yes. Please like the video, guys. It keeps us in the algorithm, and you can find us better, and it gives our channel a lot of life and juice. Share us out with your friends too. And leave a comment afterwards too. Okay. And if you're on the replay gang, also don't forget to click the like. I've been watching my analytics, and I see you people watching on the replay are not clicking like. What's up with that?
Right, because a lot more views than likes, so something's off.
It's not adding up. The math is not mathing. Okay, you hear me, Alex?
The math is not mathing. Spell it.
I can't even spell it. I cannot even spell it. But I want to say this though before we go on. I just want to say to my children, to my family, to myself, I just really I knew it was something going on, and I knew it Sunday. I should have mentioned it then, but I'm going to mention it now. So yesterday would have been my mom's birthday, so I say heavenly birthday. And I know she's looking down on us, and, I hope that I'm making her proud, and I do miss her. And I know there are other people out there that have moms that are not with them right now. So I just say, you know what, we just have to keep them in our hearts and never let may their memory always be a blessing. That's what I say.
Yeah, and happy birthday to your mother. Happy heavenly birthday for her looking down and protecting you for all these years and protecting her grandchildren. And, you guys will be reunited one day, but hopefully no time soon.
Yeah, no, I'm not in a rush. I'll get there when I get there. Give me another
Yeah.
50 years or so,
Yeah,
40
she'll be
years.
there when you get there. She'll be there
She'll
when
be
you get
she'll be
there.
there. We'll have a good reunion then.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and get started. I've got my little note cards. I don't know how people do this without them, but I'm just gonna say. So we see the Love and Marriage DC premiere opens with DJ Quicksilver and his co-host on the air. They're in the DC area, and I guess really they're syndicated too. So because he came on, we did an interview with DJ Quicksilver, right?
Yeah. I like that
And
interview too.
guys, go back and check that out. That's in the catalog too. Go check that out. And he talked about how they're syndicated. But so his co-host Dominique the Diva, who said that there's a rumor that has been spreading that the Samuels are separating. Can you believe that, guys? The Samuels may be separating. And Quick says that he doesn't really believe it. He hasn't heard anything from Chris to that nature. And his wife, Ashley, we see her, we flash over to her, and she's spending some time with Raina. But what do you think about, the opening about them mentioning the Samuels may be separating? Because we've not really heard any more about that lately, have we?
No, and there's also a rumor that they have like 5 different residences, and they're living in different residences at this point. So that's also a rumor that has yet to be confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
But during the off season, we thought they were coming back to the show. Monique, they were doing things for clickbait, saying that, oh, we're getting divorced. People think we're divorced. What do you think? And then Chris will pop up on camera and go, I don't know what they're talking about. We still together, So they were doing a lot of those kind of things for clickbait, Instagram and YouTube and things like that. So no one really knows what's going on. Obviously, they have to come out and make a statement. But the fact that they're not back on the show, to me, is probably a red flag regarding that. So we just have to see.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see you. Hey there, Joshua. Good to see you too. Welcome in. Welcome in. Make sure you hit like. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, I guess we will. We will have to see. But then we move on. We see that Ashley has got Raina over, and she's spending some time with Raina. And it's funny, speaking of Ashley being funny, she says they have a friendship minus the D. Which she's not getting from Ashley, and she's apparently maybe not getting from Jamie. Now that's allegedly. I don't know. I don't know about all of this.
That was mentioned last season. Last season.
It was mentioned, but I mean, we got to say allegedly. We got to cover our tails,
Okay, well, I don't know how you would stay in the house with Urana and not give her no D. The way that woman be looking, but
isn't she gorgeous? She is simply gorgeous. I mean, I love her. I love the way she dresses. She's so put together and gorgeous. Like, yeah. But I mean, who knows?
I mean, and the argument would be, well, he been getting it for 30 years. So there's nothing special with it. Whatever. She's still gorgeous. You know what I mean? So
she's gorgeous. I mean, hey, I can't speak to that longevity in marriage myself personally, but I think that, like you said, she's gorgeous, and I don't see how he does it, but that's between those two people. But anyway, we see Raina, she dishes, and she's talking about the party. She's going to have a going away party for their youngest son, Jason, who's leaving home for a year. Little Jamie and his dad aren't talking right now, and apparently there was a job that Big Jamie had found in the hospital for little Jamie, but after they did the background check, the job was denied him. So that's unfortunate.
And this is how your decisions haunt you. You make bad decisions. This is how they can haunt you. And there's nobody to blame but himself. So if he's not getting the jobs because of his background checks and so forth, that's on him. That's not on his parents. He made the decision to become troublesome and want to be in the street or whatever the case is. He's a 26-year-old man now. Take accountability for the decisions that you made, and you're not getting the jobs based off your background.
Right. And guys, definitely, like Monique King says here, definitely subscribe to Alex's channel. He's also known here on YouTube streets as Magnetic Repellent. Go figure, Magnetic Repellent.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so
I don't know if it's that rap culture he always talking about, Aubrey. Why he decided, because he's a privileged kid. So why he decided to go out here in these streets and get himself in trouble and find himself in a situation where he finds himself? Because I tell you this, and we'll get into this later.
Yeah, we got some more.
He could be upset with his father all he wants, but if he had gotten locked up and became Bubba's girlfriend in lockup, he'd have really had a problem.
Not Bubba's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he is cute too, and kind of small frame there, so that could easily have happened. Yeah, he's very fortunate because, oh, by the way, I guess I should mention too that we know in this episode we find out that he has 2 years probation right now.
Yeah.
And so he, because when we left off in season 1 on the at the end on the finale, it was possible that he could have gotten as many as 5 years in prison. So that's very good. He went from 5 years in prison possibly down to probation, where he's out, he's able to move around freely. But unfortunately, the problem is that he does have a record. So
that's why he didn't get the 5, because that's why he got probation, because he didn't have a record previously. Had he had a record and been troublesome prior to that, he'd be locked up right now.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And we see, as we continue on, we see that Ashley, they show Ashley, and she's admitting in a confessional that she's confused as to why little Jamie is angry with his parents, where that anger is coming from. Yeah, I mean, and as a parent, I definitely am too, because he had all the advantages that so many of our children don't have. He grew up in a 2-parent home, all of these different things. Just had so many advantages, and a upper middle class home at that. Parents making good money, living out in the suburbs, all of that, all of the accoutrements, I would say.
Right, money wasn't an issue, food wasn't an issue.
Not at all.
Nice house, that wasn't an issue. I mean, the like I said, the suburbs, nice neighborhood. None of those things were issues as it were for me growing up.
Yeah, for many people, so
what you got here?
Okay, Arana wants little Jamie to attend the party. Clifton and Joy have moved into a new home, and Joy is learning how to be a bonus mom. So what are your thoughts as we move over to Joy and Clifton? What were your thoughts about them?
They're working them into the storyline slowly. It's the first episode. Obviously, we know them from Ready to Love. We're happy for them. We hoping that their relationship, stands the test of time, that it runs its proper course. But Clifton loves his boys. He's never made it, he's always made it known that he loves his boys. There's a huge age gap. I think 19 and 5, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a huge age gap between them boys. Obviously, 2 mothers, so she got to deal with that. So hopefully, there's no baby mama drama going on. But you accept Clifton, you accept it as a package. That's just the way it is when you have somebody with children.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we see how she adjusts to being a stepmom if they get married. Right now, she's not legally a stepmom. They call it a bonus mom, right now, because they're engaged. But we'll see how she adapts to these children, because that's going to be the true test, especially the 5-year-old.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess I'm curious to see it. Like you said, we're just being introduced to them, but I'm curious to see if Clifton is going to keep that same energy that he actually wants to have another little one with Joy. Right. So I'm curious to see if he's going to keep that same energy. What do you think?
I lived that. When I married my second wife, I had 2 children. She had 1. They were in their teens at that time, and I just swore I didn't want any more children. But she did, And if you're married to them and you committed to them and you devoting your life to them, you pretty much have to say, okay, if this is what you really, really want, then let's do it. I don't see where you can deny them that, because Joy doesn't have any.
Yeah, she doesn't have any. She doesn't even have the one, like you were saying. Your second wife had 1 child, but she doesn't have
Joy
any.
Doesn't have any. So you're not going to be able to deny her that if she really, really wants children. I don't see a way around that if in fact she really wants children.
Okay, that's a good point. That's an excellent point. I agree with you on that. That with her having not any children, hopefully Clifton would be generous enough to. Seems like they've already been practicing anyway, so I don't know.
Yeah. You saw them in the bed practicing the different positions. Oh
Yep,
my goodness.
a
They
whole
was
hot mess. But anyway, Ashley, oh, I did that part. I moved to the new house and learned to be a bonus mom. Okay, so we go on. We see a clip of Joy and Clifton choosing each other on RTL. They have decided that the long distance relationship for them wasn't working. And like you said, Clifton has an 18-year-old, and I heard them say 4-year-old
oh
boy.
4 year.
So
Ooh,
like you said,
yeah.
yeah, there's a gap. So but that makes it kind of better because to your point, if he has a 4-year-old, it's not that much different from having a 4-year-old just starting over because he's already started over with the 4-year-old. I mean, he's got a long ways to go versus the 18 who's basically, considered an adult, right?
Yeah, and I think if they have a child now, if she let's say she gets pregnant now, by the time she has a child, the boy will be 5. They can kind of grow up together, which would be
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
He'll have a sibling, you know.
Exactly. Yep. He won't be an only child, like basically by virtue of he has a brother, but the brother may be out of the house in college. I don't know, but I'm guessing, yeah, at 18 that he may have went on to college and may be living in a dormitory. So yeah, if they have children soon, then yeah, they can grow up together. That would be great.
And and the,
What is
and a, and a 19-year-old is not sitting around the house playing with a 4-year-old. That's just that's not
No,
happening.
no, right, you're right.
So
Even if they
yeah,
live there, right? You're
right.
exactly right. Roro says, "I really don't know, but I have some opinions about it." Really, Roro? Please write them in the chat then, if you can. I would love to hear more about your opinions.
Do tell,
Monique,
Roro. Do tell.
do tell. Our own Monique King says, "I can sadly see Joy agreeing to not have children because Clifton doesn't want more. They are 45 and 40 years old." Yeah. Is she 40? Really? Monique? Okay. I knew he was in his 40s, but I guess, going back from a season or two ago, she would have been younger because it's been almost a year, right? Oh, hey there, Edward Smart. Hey.
Yeah, but women
Yeah.
women women are having kids later. 40 is not a deterrent for having children. You know,
Mm-mm.
Stoney had Layla at 42. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's not a deterrent anymore. Joy
No, it's
Joy is a
not.
career woman. Joy's a career woman. She travels, she
Mm-hmm.
sings. So,
Mm-hmm.
women are having children later because they getting that money first. They're making sure that bag is good first before they
Yeah,
have
they
children.
securing the bag. That is true. So we'll see. Like you said, I guess if she's 40 or 39, it's not too late. It's not too late. I mean, as long as her health is good and reproductively everything is good, then hey, and they clearly have been practicing as we mentioned. But we're gonna
Hmm.
move on to this next card. Former nanny Angela White is moving into the Silvers home to help assist Ashley with her new book promotion. Do that ish. And it's not ish, but I'm not gonna say
Right.
that word. So Ashley and Quick, they don't quite seem to be on the same page about whether their 14-year-old son, Antonio, I believe is his name, if he should
Mm.
be doing more for himself at home. What did you think about the conversation between the two of them? Ashley's getting up at 6 in the morning to wake up a 14-year-old son to get him ready for school, or to, not maybe, he gets himself ready. But what did you think about that?
Well, I'm with Quick. I mean, at what point do you start teaching the responsibility? The problem with us, and Ashley was very open to saying she didn't have, her mother doing certain things for her when she was younger. She didn't have this, she didn't have that. But she grew up to be a wonderful, beautiful, productive human being. And I think a lot of times we always worried about, I want to give my children what I didn't have. And we overcompensate. And then we begin to coddle. And when it comes to boys and coddling, that's very dangerous ground. Because as you can see later on, we'll get into it with Jamie Jr., you end up having a son bouncing from his mother to his girlfriend to another woman, and it go on and on like that if you start with that coddling. So I
Mm-hmm.
have I have a 12-year-old daughter. She sets her phone. She gets
Mm-hmm.
up on her own at 6 in the morning. She don't start school till 8:30, but she gets up at 6:30 in the morning, gets herself
Wow.
together,
Okay.
makes her breakfast, all that. I'm laying here in the bed.
Oh
I'm,
Lord.
I'm in the bed snoring. But if
Right.
she need me, she'll come in here and wake me up. But
Right.
she learned every spot. She's been doing that a year since she's been like 11. She's been doing that. So at one point, and then the girls are a little bit different anyway. I must admit that girls are a little bit different than
Yeah, they
boys.
they they
Okay.
tend to be more
Yeah.
self-directed, I think, and oftentimes,
Yeah.
especially at the earlier ages.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of leaning toward you. I think that at 14, I think that's something that actually could have been started, like you said, like your daughter maybe in puberty, 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point, like we forget too, I think that what our job is as parents is to prepare our children to be out on their own, whether they leave home at 18 or whether they leave home at 22 or whatever that age is. At some point, we're not going to always be there for them, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and so
Exactly.
the last thing you want is for when you pass away, you've got a 28-year-old, 30-year-old, say something tragic happens early in life to the parents. Now you've got a 30-year-old that's ill prepared to live on their own. That's
And
not
you
not the
don't
best.
want to unleash the hobosexual on the public.
We're not
We've been
talking about peen and eggs, are we?
already, but let's talk about that
Yeah,
because
we're gonna get to that in a few minutes. But you're right, though. It kind of we'll get to it in just a moment. We'll get to it in
Mhm.
just a moment. And I get that parents have different styles of parenting. I think both parents. I think what the really important thing is whether you believe Ashley's way is right or whether you believe Quick's way is right or something in between. Maybe a compromise. Like
Mhm.
you said, that maybe you have them set their clock, their phone, or whatever it is. And then, as a parent, maybe you kind of double check on them for the first couple of weeks to make sure that they're actually getting up. I know she probably has to drive them to school or whatever, but allow them to do some of those things. And in fact, I would say too, for preparation, start having your youth that age preparing the night before. What am I going to wear? Have that outfit ready. You taking a lunch? Fix the lunch the night before, right? If you're going to
Right.
school in person. I know some kids are still doing virtual, but I'm assuming that probably he's going to school, in person. But
Yeah.
some of those things could just be done the night before. And you're really teaching them valuable skills because what happens when they get ready to go off to college? Are you going
Mhm.
to still be there to wake them up,
Yeah, because
walk them to class?
yeah,
What?
because these are when the habits are developed, and you don't want them developing chronic dysfunction. Like lateness can become a chronic dysfunction. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
late to everything, late to class, late to work, late to events or functions, late, always late. Having these kind of dysfunctions, you have to teach them now. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Set your phone, get up. Like you said, you monitor him the first, couple of weeks, maybe even a month. Once he's in
Mhm.
the routine of getting up on his own, leave him alone. He should know how to make a bowl of cereal, some oatmeal, scramble an egg at 14 years old. He should know that.
Exactly. Exactly. But do you know there are a lot of kids that go off to college that don't even know how to wash their own clothes? They don't know how to scramble an egg. And like I think I was maybe I remember being very young, like 7 or 8, and I made my parents. It might have been as late as 9, but I mean, I was very young. I had a Betty Crocker cookbook for children, and I prepared my parents breakfast one morning so that they could have breakfast in bed, and they just loved it so much. I still have
Mm.
memories of that. Um,
Yeah,
and then
great memories.
this brings me to tell me what you think about this. So in this scene, we see the Silvas seem to compare their son Antonio, their 14-year-old, to little Jamie, who's 26. And the conversation goes to, does spoil turn into entitlement? If we're spoiling our son now at 14, will he be like Jamie and Arena's son at 26?
Of course it does. You'll be sitting there if he's 14 now, so you could kind of overlook some things or whatever. But when he's a 26-year-old man and get in trouble, he's going, "Ma, grandma, can you help me, ma?" I mean that's not good for a 26-year-old man to be going to his grandmother, and going to his mother. So and
Mm-hmm.
the other thing too I want to address real quick with Ashley
Mm-hmm.
is that a lot of parents, because she like any mother, she really loves her children.
Absolutely.
She's enjoying the raising of these children, because I enjoyed it
Yeah.
very much, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what she's fearing is the impending empty nest syndrome. You know,
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that is something. That's a whole
it
nother thing
is.
too. Yeah.
It is,
Mm-hmm.
because I feared that. I love taking care of my children so much. I was like, oh, they're getting too big. I started getting scared. They're not going to need me anymore. They're going to leave, but I knew it had to happen. So I cherished every single moment that I possibly could with them, but also taught them along the way, when you do get out of here, this is what you need to be doing.
Yeah, because that is a whole nother phenomenon. I want to can you read what Roro said here? Was her comment related to this?
They want to maintain the privileged lifestyle that their parents provided, but don't want to do the work, college, entry-level jobs, to work up to that level. Absolutely not. Yeah, I agree with 100%. We hear later on, we'll get into it. I don't want to do security. I don't want to do that. You don't have any job, but we'll get into that later.
Right. And then Ro also has another great point. Kind of like we were saying, she kind of met in the middle of what Ashley was saying, that her sons were up with their alarm clocks on their own, but before she went to work, she made sure that they were out the door and headed to school. So that's a great compromise. That's a great compromise right there. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to, and Roro did right. Make sure they're out the door before I leave. Because otherwise, if I leave, they won't leave. they'll try
I'll
to
tell you a story about that later, about my former neighbors years ago, about their kids leaving to go to school, but after the mom left for work, they doubled back. But
they double back.
Yeah, well, the girl doubled back with a boy, and I think about 9 months later she had a grandchild. But that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But so we move on. Irena prepares a National Harbor penthouse for Jason's going away party, which that's quite a big to do out there in the DMV area, right? It's great big penthouse overlooking the water and everything like that. So and Sister Brittany actually brings her brother Jason to make a big entrance, and Clifton and Joy also attend. The Tylers talk about their son. Apparently, little Jamie has a speeding ticket, right? And his father has already paid and given him $100 a week and helping him, to have spending money and pay bills or whatever. He's got car insurance and all these different things. But now he needs money for this speeding ticket. And we're gonna get to that, because we're gonna just put it all together, right? And let's go ahead to the next one. It seems like little Jamie stays with his girlfriend because he perceives her as being more understanding. Brittany thinks that her parents baby her brother, but Dad's delivery might be a little bit harsh. What do you think? Do you think that Jamie's delivery is harsh with his son?
Well, let me say this. I know that women nowadays, they're very empowered. They're making their own money. They have their own businesses, and they're very strong or resilient and independent. But this is still a man's world, and you have to teach boys how to deal with men. Because if they get too accustomed to just dealing with women, when the time comes to deal with men, they'll be unprepared. They won't know what to do. They'll be afraid. They'll bow down. And although Jamie Senior's deliveries may be rough, he's from that background. He understands. He was an officer for 25 years, just retired, military, been in the streets, all that. Okay.
Right.
This is not this world is not for the faint of heart. He understands that, particularly as a black male. This is not for the faint of heart. So if you don't get some oomph about you now and learn how to deal with these things now, you can't deal with me. How can you go out there and deal with a world who don't even care about you? I love you, but the world out there will step on you, spit on you, everything. So if you can't get it from me, forget it.
Not the spit, not the
yeah,
not that. So we see the Silvers arriving in grand style, and Ashley asked Irena about little Jamie. Is he going to come? And everybody's wondering also, where's Monique Samuels? And both the Tylers we see in their confessionals feel that Monique Samuels should have came out and supported their son Jason. You got any thoughts about that? We got
coming.
We'll move on. Right. So then later at the party, Joy is talking to all the ladies, Ashley and Irena and That was the other lady's name that's Ashley's friend. It starts with the A also, Alyssa, something like that. But anyway, they're
Uh-huh.
listening to Joy speaking about how she's been invited to talk to single moms about Ready to Love at the Steve and Marjorie Harvey's event. Ashley wants to
Mm.
know, well, how are you going to speak to women when you have no children of your own? What did you think about that? Was she being a little nitpicky there, or was she on the money with that?
Well, Ashley's not going to hold her tongue first and foremost.
We know that, yeah.
Yeah, but
kind
but
of,
I think
kind of
she
like I had a wait a minute. I gotta say this. I had a flashback of the whole Winter scene when she questioned Winter about marriage and how can she be a marriage counselor when she's not, happily married. She was,
right,
yeah.
right, exactly. So, but I'm kind of with Ashley on this one. I'm always leery of people who wants to tell people how to raise their children when they don't have any, or want to tell people how to be married when they're not married. You know, and these kind of things. So I'm always looking at them a little side eye with that. Now, if
Okay.
they're just asking Joy to speak about her experience on Ready to Love,
Ready
or
to Love, yeah.
being an independent woman in society, what that's been like for her, that's different. But don't put parenting in it, because her bonus children do not count right now. Okay. So if she don't have any children of her own and hasn't been in the practice of raising children, she wouldn't have the same insight that somebody like Ashley would have, or Urania would have. She don't have that kind of insight. So I'm kind of with Ashley on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. She really did have a point, but it was so funny because Clifton, he was standing there and you see the look on Clifton's face. It was like he was like, "Wait a minute, don't be jumping on my baby," is what he was thinking. And then he kind of saved her. He said, "Well, you know what? But the point is that she's been asked to speak. That's the main point." And then you see a confessional, the two of them, Clifton and Joy, and they're saying, "Yeah, can we celebrate without the hate?" Like, really? Okay.
And listen, you're not going to turn down an invite from Steve Harvey and Marjorie. You're not going to turn that
I know
invite
that's
down.
right. Right. To
You're not
speak at
turning
their
that down.
you're not. You're not. No, you,
Yeah.
you just can't. That's a chance of a lifetime. And so then
Right.
little Jamie, he finally arrives late to celebrate with his brother Jason. And Raina gathers everybody around to have an emotional speech or prayer about her son leaving, and how much they're going to miss him, but they're excited for him. They're very proud of him, and that this is a great opportunity for him to learn even more about his own independence, and everything like that. Um, and I mean, it was very touching. I thought it was very touching. What did you think about that, her speech?
Yeah, yeah, I figured it would be, even to Jamie Senior. This is a child that's always had these issues that he has, and you've always been there every step of the way, extra steps because he needed the extra help. Obviously, maybe taking attention away from some of the other children because he needed the extra special help. And Jason's like we heard this last season. Look, I'm ready to go out here and get a girlfriend, explore some things, live my life. I want to be in this program away from my parents. He was very adamant about that. Okay. So Jason's not one to say, I want to stay up under my parents, and he has a disability. Now,
Right.
Jamie Jr. acting like he want to stay up under his parents, and nothing wrong with him. So go figure.
You know what, I caught that. I mean, I was watching it and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, "Wow, this young man is not only younger than his older brother. I don't know what the age gap is. I'm assuming maybe a couple 2-3 years, but he also has the drive to want to be out there doing things on his own." And I believe him when he says he's going to work for, what is it, Microsoft or Apple? Is it Apple
Yeah,
that he
yeah, one
wants
of
to
them
work for?
companies. Yeah.
One of the
Mm-hmm.
companies, I believe he's going to work in tech. I believe some kind of way he's going to get a job working in tech because he's so driven and he has an idea. And one thing about him, I'll say too, he kind of like his big brother. He is determined to not do. Remember last season uh, when, when their father was trying to get him to go into DJing with
Yeah.
DJ
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah, he's
Right.
determined to be his own man, and I like that about Jason. And by the way, Jason, thank you for following me on IG. I love it. I love it, and I can't wait to have you on so we can interview you. Can't
Oh,
wait.
okay. Yeah, that'd be
hmm
cool.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so
but
too.
yeah,
I really,
yeah.
I really
Yeah,
like
but
him.
see,
But
see, you
mhm.
you you spoke about harsh deliveries from Jamie Senior and things like that, but yet you saw him crying over his younger son leaving home. So
Mhm.
this man loves his children passionately. You can see
Yeah.
that. There's no question about it.
No
He just
question.
knows that when you have multiple
Oh.
children, they have different
Mhm.
personalities, different makeup. You got to deal with each child differently. They're still individuals. You can't deal with all children the same just because they're in the same house.
Right.
That's
That's
they're
true.
still different people.
That is so true. And any of you out here, how out here that have children, you know that that's true because each child is different, and you do have to kind of parent them differently, but all loving them all the same and loving them equally. Um, so as we come to our conclusion, let's see.
And people have a
Okay, we
favorite
see we
child, just don't say it.
well,
Right?
anyway, Arena, okay, we see that so getting back to the party, we see that little Jamie and his father, they go out on the balcony because basically, the father says, "Hey, we need to talk." And they begin to talk, and it turns into a really a loud argument. But basically, I see Jamie, little Jamie, saying, "Hey, you guys, my girl is holding me down, and you guys aren't doing this and that and this and that and this and that." And I'm like, wow, like, first of all, they raised you for the first 18, 19, 20 years. The fact that you have a girlfriend that you can go shack up with, that's on you. But your dad is saying that he's giving you $100 or more every week to help you pay your car insurance and help you out, try to find you a job. But unfortunately for you, your record that you created, not your father, but you created your own record, criminal past, and it's kind of biting you in the butt because the job that you found, you can't, they won't give it to you, right? Now you can talk. We were going to talk about this. What did you think about the father and son dynamic in this scene?
Well, for me, I felt like Jamie Senior rather, should have waited. This was Jason's night. You wait to do that, but I knew he was just fuming inside. He couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold water at that point.
Right.
So I knew if Jamie Jr. walked in, once he saw him, he was triggered. We doing this tonight, you know.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and so, but once they started to talk, I'm with Jamie Senior all day. I mean, because Junior is sitting there. You can't get the job because of your background. So I'm saying, okay, you didn't get that job. I got a job for you in security. I don't want to do security. Well, what else do you have? I'm just not doing security. But you don't have anything. What are you talking about?
Right.
Get started with security and then go off and do something else. Anything's better than a zero. Right now, you got a zero.
You know what
Okay.
I'm almost betting? That's a good point. Anything, right, to get started. I mean, just to be able to pay your bills, and maybe if you owe your parents or whomever some money, maybe to pay that back too, because if you haven't been working for a certain amount of time, chances are you've been borrowing money here, borrowing money there, right? That happens. But I'm thinking too, like, it just occurred to me. I said, I wonder if this kid wants to be a rapper because so many of our youth in our community are determined that they're going to be like successful rappers like Jay-Z or Kanye West or whomever that
Please
is, or
don't. Please.
Ye. They're going to be the other thing is they're going to be ball players. They're going to be
Please. Well,
basketball
he's too
players.
late. Too late for that for him.
Too late, and he's too little. you
Right.
know,
Yeah. Right.
basically. But I'm
Mhm.
just wondering though because I mean, not no shade at all. I'm really curious because I love young people and I like to know where they're coming from, like to really hear them out. I'm really curious as to what are his plans and what does he see himself? What is his vision for his life? And to his father's point, like you said, I really have to say I do agree with the father that right now a job is better than no job.
And you know what? Too, you brought up rapper and ball player. We need to normalize being a pharmacist. We need to normalize being a chemist or an accountant,
Mhm.
or a lawyer.
Absolutely.
Or we gotta normalize those conversations with our black men and get off this rap entertainment, ball playing crap. Because the numbers are very small for those who make it in the NBA, NFL. Those numbers are very small. Okay,
Yeah,
and
very.
including those that make it as a successful rapper. And plus, rapping. that's an occupation who has it with rappers right now. They just falling by the wayside. Okay, so that's a serious occupation who has it. You don't even want your child involved with that at this point. So we have to normalize real careers where you can still prosper, become very successful, very well off financially, just having these certain careers. What's wrong with being a doctor?
Right.
What's wrong with being an anesthesiologist or something like,
I have a very good friend of mine that became an anesthesiologist later in life, and he was actually a hairdresser of all things. But I will say that he went off to college and graduated from University of Michigan even before he was a hairdresser, owned his own salon, very successful, and then bought a boutique and went back to school in Tennessee at, I want to say if it was Meharry University, and became an anesthesiologist in his 40s. So everything is possible, but you have to have the vision and you have to be willing to work for it. But I'm really curious as to what it is that little Jamie wants to do, because right now, to your point, I think you had said this earlier, you began to mention it, it's beginning to look a lot like he's going to be the kind of guy, if he's not careful, that's going to go from one woman's home to the next woman's home to the next woman's home.
Right.
And that's not cool. I don't see that as being cool, because as a man, as an individual, as a person, he needs to be self-sufficient first.
Right. Thus the plight of the homosexual. We talked about this so much. You're
gonna get in trouble when we try to bring the Tylers on for an interview and they hear you singing that word related to their son.
I'm not putting that on him yet. But
yeah, we won't put it on him yet.
Not yet, but he going that way, because when he starts saying things like, "Oh, I don't have to ask grandma; she just helps me." You going from your grandma to your mother to your girlfriend, and the girlfriend don't know any better. She just maybe love him, and whatever the case may be, she'll learn.
I'm wondering, is she young like him? Is she in her mid-20s, late 20s like him, or could she possibly even be an older woman that likes to peen and eggs? Some women like that. And they'll keep him around as long as he's useful to them, but when she gets tired, then he's back at home with the parents once again. So but listen, we're going to wrap up briefly. What do you think about what they're showing us, what's coming up? We know winter is going to be in this week's episode, this Saturday, so that's going to be interesting. I'm sorry, and we left off with the scene. So little Jamie exits the party angry at his father, and the next thing we know, we see like some of the producers or cameramen saying, "Hey, to Big Jamie, you need to come out in the hallway." Little Jamie is on the floor. He looks like he's maybe very emotional. I think that's his girlfriend is talking to him, saying that you need to really work this out with your dad. And then the next thing we know, Big Jamie is talking to little Jamie, and there's some mention of, I didn't see this, but you hear him saying, "Don't put your hand in my face." And then it's like it's almost like he wants to swing on his son. What did you observe in that?
I've been in that situation with my son. My son, ironically, is 26 now himself, and we went through this a couple of years ago. And I'm gonna say to Jamie Jr., you're a little bit too thin to win. So you better stay away from your father with that BS, because when I was a kid, when we were children, Aubrey, and we saw 50-year-old people, they looked real old to us and worn out and everything. 50-year-old people today don't look like they did when we were kids.
No, Jamie doesn't look
like
he's 40, like he's 49. No, he doesn't.
Not at all.
I would be willing to bet that him being just retired from being a police officer, he's in great shape. I would imagine. I imagine he's in good shape. So
So this is not an old man you facing. Okay, so and fathers get very, very insulted when our sons jump in our face like that, because again, I changed your Pampers, I fed you, I took care of you, I did everything for you for 19, 20 years. You met a girl 6 months ago. Now I'm not worth a quarter because you met a girl 6 months ago who's feeding you.
Right.
Really
for the moment, right?
For the moment.
And when that goes kaput, you'll be right back at Dad's house.
Right. So he's offended. We even saw the clip where Jamie Sr. was like, "So what you want to do?" So what you want to do? Because that's what it
Yeah.
gets to,
I hope they
So
both calm down because you like you said, Jamie seems like he really loves his family, his children. He loves them, and he's been very provided a great living for them. He and their mother Arena, and so hopefully, my thing is these children nowadays they really don't follow the concept that the Bible teaches of us honoring our parents. Whatever
mhm.
happened to that? I don't know.
Social media,
I
social
don't know.
media.
But we got more to see. I think this is going to be an exciting season. It looks like winter is back. We got a new young lady on the scene. What is that? Sherelle, I think is her
Mm.
name. I'm going to
Does
find out
anybody like
hmm?
winter? I mean, does anybody like winter? I'm
A
trying to
lot
figure
of
out, does
people.
any of the
I love
cast members?
winter. What are you talking
No, the
about?
cast members. The cast members. I'm talking about
Oh,
the
oh,
cast members.
oh, I don't know. I don't know how they feel about her, but she's good TV drama. I know that.
Right.
She
Yep.
is good TV drama. And yeah, you're right, Roro. Jamie Jr. should be ashamed of himself. I really think so. Yeah, but we're gonna see. Hopefully they iron things out and little Jamie gets himself together because I had this odd thought and I'm gonna leave this here on at the end. I was thinking that maybe little Jamie should go into the military.
Mm,
That'll teach him.
mm. That'll straighten them up real quick.
Yeah. Real
I, I
quick.
I I think he's the type of guy that would get a dishonorable discharge on purpose. He's not
Ooh.
gonna want to be there with that kind of structure. That's too much
Yeah.
structure. He's not gonna want to be there with that kind of structure.
Too much discipline
And
and structure. Okay.
yeah, and also I want to say this with Clifton and Joy before we log off is that
Hmm.
what would be a great thing. Of course, they're engaged now, and they did that publicly. It would be a
Yeah.
wonderful thing if they had their wedding on the show. I think it'd be a
Oh
wonderful thing
yeah.
for the show.
Oh yeah, that would. I would watch that. I would be really excited to see that. So we'll see because right now Joy is saying that she never really wanted to have a big wedding. She'll be perfectly happy going down to the courthouse. So we'll see.
Hmm. Which
We'll
is rare
see.
for women. That's a very rare for a woman to say that. Women want the big elaborate weddings typically, and men want to go to City Hall. So,
Right. It's usually the opposite. But I'm wondering though too, that's a good point. Look at Roro says no winter and she's crying. She's frowning, I'm sorry. Yeah, and guys, don't forget if you can become a member of my A team. That's available to you if you when you join, you get special perks. But yeah, I don't know. I think yeah. I, I don't
yeah,
know. I
yeah.
think that she wants to kind of just get it over with. That's my feeling about it. But we will see though. I would love for them to have a big wedding and have it on TV. I think that would be lovely.
Yeah, if
So
the producer pays for it, hey, why not? Maybe the producers will pay for it.
or sponsors like like you got the
Sponsors,
the gowns, the boutiques will sponsor the gown. Somebody that has a venue will sponsor the venues just so they could be mentioned in this video that's going out internationally, worldwide, across the country. So yeah,
right?
that could happen. That could happen.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
anything
Kirby,
you
you
want to
late,
tell?
bro. You real late, Kirby.
Oh, wait a minute. Kirby's in the house. Oh, let me
Yeah.
scroll down. Hey, yeah, you are. You got to watch the replay for that. Shame on you. Watch the replay and be sure to thumbs up. Thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up. Tell them what you're doing over on your channel, Magnetic Repellent.
Doing wonderful things over there. My channel's growing. Thanks to all you guys. Thanks to actually Aubrey and everybody who I've come across here on this channel. And it's really growing, and I got some more great content coming. There's a lot of great content there now. So if you haven't seen some of the videos there now, please go over there and watch some of the videos and like and comment on it. I love the comments. The comments are awesome. So please go over there
You
and watch
did. You
videos and
did. Tell
comment.
them about you did a video, and it's a movie. Is it called Smile? The movie was called
Oh yeah,
Smile.
yeah. That one has
Mhm.
gotten a lot of feedback for this movie Smile, which is it's been marketed as a horror film. That's the genre, but the message is so deep, and I kind of covered it on my channel, so I don't want to give out any spoilers.
Right,
But go to
because
my
it's kind of
channel.
isn't it kind of
Yeah,
like a psychological thriller, really, when you more
it
watch the
is.
movie? Also, okay, yes,
It
okay,
is very psychological, and that's what I like about it. When I was younger, I was more into the gore, the Jasons, the Michael Myers, the slicing, cutting, But but as I've gotten older, I got more into psychological horror. What makes a person tick? That's the horror in a lot of times. What goes on in a person's mind, And so Smile was very interesting for that. So you guys should really watch that film. I think it's streaming on Paramount Plus, I believe, at this time. So try to catch it and then go over there and watch my coverage of it on Magnetic Repellent.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about that's happening on your channel? You're going to be planning to go live, like maybe in the next near future.
Yeah, I'm looking at going and doing some lives. I'm still trying to get more comfortable with that process, but I'm definitely looking into it. Definitely looking into going and doing some lives. So hopefully, you and some other people will help me out with that, get me comfortable with that. So that'll be
Oh,
good.
absolutely, absolutely. I would love to. I would love to. And so also you're over on Sonia G Coaching's channel. Tell them about that real quick too before we go.
Yeah, we did a great video on Sonia G Coaching about a week or so, maybe 10 days ago, on men's mental health. And I was there with two other gentlemen, J Dub and Chris, his last name escapes me, but two great gentlemen along with Sonia G. And we had a great conversation. Christopher Markland. Christopher Markland, yes. And then also it's J Dub was there as well. And we had a great conversation. And we were very open and honest about men's mental health and how we help each other and how we get better, because it's gotten bad out here the last couple of years, ever since the panorama began. And our job as podcasters, I believe, is to reach out and help people, be an extension of help, because we have to do our part to try to slow this thing down, because it's way out of hand right now. So we have to focus on some healing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you totally. Guys, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you first and foremost. I want to thank all of our 18 members that are out today. Roro, Monique King. I want to thank you so much for being here. All of you that are watching on the replay, I thank you in advance. But make sure you hit the like button as you come in and you're watching on the replay, right? And we'll be back next week as we continue our coverage of love and marriage, DC, right, Alex?
Yes, absolutely. Looking
All
forward to it.
right.
Look at Roro's comment. Roro is so crazy.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Yeah.
You didn't see
Oh,
it?
okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Go to
Love you, Roro.
wait a minute. Okay, let me get that up real quick.
Yeah.
Go to Alex's channel if you like being pulled in and repelled at the same time. I love it. I love it. And that's exactly right. That's him. The magnetic repellent.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Love
a
you,
bug
Roro.
spray.
Love you.
Love you guys. Love all of you guys. We're on our way out of here, guys. Take care now.
All right.